Here we go again, a new day, a new game, and a new conversation about microtransactions. I've been playing Dragon's Dogma 2 all day today over on stream, having a great time, and then I saw a number of people coming through going, what's going on? I've seen lots of mixed reviews on Steam, lots of negative reviews. What are the microtransactions? What's happening? Should I get this game? And I was completely oblivious to all these issues. I was playing on PlayStation 5, went over to Steam, saw the conversation about microtransactions, saw the stuff about performance on PC, the save files, the anti-cheat. At first, I thought everything was quite a big overreaction, and then I started looking at them a bit more, and I can definitely see people's points. However, a lot of the reviews lack detail for you to really make a decision on whether you want to support this game or not. So I'm going to go into detail about the microtransactions in Dragon's Dogma 2. And I'll also briefly touch on the performance stuff and the save file issues and the anti-cheat, just so you can sort of get your head around why there are some, not mostly negative reviews, but there are mixed reviews on Steam for this game, okay? Right, here are the microtransactions. I'm going to go through them one by one and tell you how they function. I didn't even know they existed. I don't normally play games on PlayStation, so I didn't even check the PlayStation store. I didn't even know they existed until people told me about them. So let's just go through them though. Rift crystals. These are bundles of Rift crystals. What are Rift crystals? Let me show you. Rift crystals are used at Rift stones to purchase pawns. Pawns are your allies in the game. Now, when you go to purchase pawns, if they're at your level or below, they cost nothing. They are free. They are 0 Rift crystals. So this person here, Ada, you'll see the cost is 0. I'll click on it so it's a little bit easier to see. Higher, 0 Rift crystals, okay? Because she's at my level or below. If you go to hire someone who is a higher level, it will cost Rift crystals. Okay, so this person is level 17. And it's going to cost me 31 Rift crystals. I currently have about 1,600 Rift crystals. Now, you don't. Oh, this one's level 19, 117 Rift crystals. So the higher level, the higher that they are above you, the more Rift crystals it costs. Now, these aren't huge values of Rift crystals. And to be honest, I've been playing the entire game just hiring the free pawns, and you 1000% can go through this entire game just hiring pawns, allies at your level, okay? Now, is there anything that you can do to really manipulate this system and pay for Rift crystals to hire super high level pawns? Kind of. There is a feature called unique pawns. And these are the streamer pawns, which everyone hates like already, so whatever. But if you go to the official pawns, you probably can find higher level pawns in here that are going to cost you more Rift crystals. Okay, it's not going to load now. Oh, thank God. Right. If you level 2s, level 8s, these are all 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This costs me nothing. Okay, once you get above my level, 184, let's see what the highest streamer is. Okay, we've got some level 30s in here. Okay, so level 30 is 3,164 crystals. So yes, I could hire pawns, allies, about twice my, is that twice my level? For 3,000 Rift crystals. And I could purchase my way to doing that. Does that bother you? It's a single player game. You're pretty much cheating yourself out of an experience. Is it super scummy? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Look, I don't agree with microtransactions, but there is a difference with just kind of saying, oh, it's pay to win, the game's unplayable, you can't play it unless you pay. And that's pretty much what people were coming into my stream and saying, like, oh, I've been told it's unplayable if you don't pay. And that's just not true. It's very playable if you don't pay. Is it incredibly scummy? Yes, it is. So you need to decide whether that's something you want to support. Okay, next microtransaction. This thing here, ambivalent rift incense. What does that do? Right, this is another pawn mechanic. Pawns have traits. They have 2 traits, inclinations and specializations. Inclinations is kind of like their priority list for actions. So my pawn, G-Banger, Gandalf, Gary, has calm as his inclination. Rational, shrewd, strategizing, prioritizes defense to ensure survival. It doesn't tell you exactly what they do, but you kind of just see in the behavior of the pawns. So like, you know, if you want a healer, you want them to have like an inclination to prioritize healing you and assisting. If you've got a fighter, you want them to prioritize like getting in and attacking. So it just sort of dictates how the pawn behaves. Now, you can purchase those as well in game at this guy here. And so this incense change, this is what it is. This changes the inclination of your pawn. Costs 2,000 Rift Crystals. Now, I've been playing for like 10 hours and I don't have 2,000 Rift Crystals. Is it? I don't think they're that important. I think inclinations is a cool mechanic. You have a main pawn and yourself, and you can hire different pawns. You can just hire a pawn with the right inclination when you go to the Rift and just find something that suits your play style and what they're doing. Once again, I don't think it breaks the game. I don't think you need to do it to have a good time and to make the game functional. But once again, it's super scummy. Okay, next one. Now, this is the big one, and this is probably the one I have the most issue with. The previous ones, the Rift Crystals and the inclinations, whatever. This one is the Art of Metamorphosis, and this allows you to change your character's appearance. This is how it works in the game. Right, so once you've made your character and you've started playing the game, this is how you change the appearance of the character. You've got to go to this character, this vendor. It would cost you 10,000 to change your hairstyle, 10,000 to change your makeup, or 10,000 to change your markings. If you want to change multiple things, it costs 25,000. Now, if you haven't played the game much yet, you get golds pretty steadily and pretty easily. But to kind of like put this into comparison, like 8 to 10,000 gold is usually like a good upgrade for armor or for a weapon. Like, you know, my last kit was like 8 to 10,000 to get a good chest piece and good leggings and upgrade my sword. So, you know, you're kind of sacrificing maybe upgrading your gear to change your appearance. So I do think that is pretty pricey, but also it's not super hard to get gold. And this is, if you've got the book, you can modify your appearance. Okay, here's my commitment. This is a one-use item. Once you've purchased it and got it, you can use it once. Let's see what happens once you use it. Now, people were saying you can repurchase it, and I don't think you can. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use it up. I'm going to see if we can rebuy it. I don't think you can repurchase it. Okay, so I can use it to change my Arisen or my main pawn. Remind me to come back to main pawn, because there's something else you can do with main pawns. I wonder. We're going to check something. Hold on. Let's change my Arisen. I've used this will allow you to edit your Arisen's appearance. You can either select preset, choose a preset, edit current appearance. Okay? I'm just going to edit them. You don't need to change vocation because you do that in game anyway, so that's fine. So you can change body type, head. You go into the detailed customization. All right, you can change all this. All right, I'm just going to finalize. I'm going to waste it. Finalize. Okay, it's saving. Really long save.
That suits you very well, I must say.
All right. So it should be a one-time use. Oh, I didn't mean to try to stab you. Sorry, Lee. Sorry, I'm not trying to kill you. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I've reached the day and she's not terrified of me anymore.
First impressions count for much. If you like.
Okay, so obviously I don't have the ability to modify appearance more. I don't have the book. Now, can I repurchase it? I can't repurchase it. I can't. So you get Myelin from the future here. You can purchase the Art of Metamorphosis from a vendor for 500 RC. This is this guy here near the Rift.
Many thanks.
And this will allow you to change the appearance of your main character or your pawn. I thought it was just your pawn at first, but it's actually your main character too. So that would give you 3 total changes. Let's see, how much is 500 RC? 145 Australian. Yeah, okay. So it's like, yeah. Assuming you can't get any more from other quests, that's how much you have to pay to basically change your character. Now, I think this is probably the worst out of all the microtransactions because it sort of blends into another issue, which why people are not liking the game or giving it negative reviews. There's only one save. Now, I think there is good reasons for how they do the save, and I think the reasoning behind their saves is they kind of applied fuck around and find out. Like, I was kind of killing NPCs and mucking around, and the game auto-saves. And it makes scum saving a little bit harder, and it makes you live with consequences. Like, if you decide to chuck someone off a cliff and lose a quest line, you're done. Like, I was literally doing that, just throwing people off cliffs, and it was like, auto-save, now it's gone. I think it's particularly bad, though, that it's monetized how you can't change your appearance. I don't quite agree with that. I like the idea of a game having consequence. Right. Okay, this is just the music and the soundtrack. Campsites. Now, campsites are incredibly important. This is just straight up a scam. There is no value in this whatsoever. You get camping gear like all the time. You find it on the ground. You can purchase it pretty cheaply. It's not a huge issue. It's a huge part of the game, though. It allows you to get your health back when you're out in the wild while they're coming back to the inn. So that's nothing. The harpy snare, I've used it before and nothing happened. It apparently lures harpies. I don't really know what's the point of it. The next one is the heartfelt pendant. This is the gift. Gifts are given to NPCs to increase your affinity and making them like you. And if they like you more, you can develop relationships. So yeah, it's like the horny item. Well done. It's not the only thing, though, that you can use to give gifts. So I'm not too sure if it needs to go to a specific person yet, but that's how it works. Another scam here with the makeshift jail key. You can make jail keys. You can make forged jail keys just like this. I haven't used mine yet. I'm not too sure how much it costs, but I don't think it changes the game that much. Right, port crystals. Now, this is something people brought up a lot, and they literally didn't explain how these work properly either. Port crystals. How do port crystals work? This is... yeah. See, people saying this is pay to win is wrong. It's just scummy and scammy. Like, it's not pay to win. It's just, like, abusive. Let me show you how port crystals work. So, you buy a port crystal. You then select said port crystal. You place it wherever you are. Okay? There is a port crystal here now. Now, this allows me to teleport to this exact spot. How do you teleport? Well, you need an item called a fairy stone, and I don't even think I have any fairy stones left because I used it on stream. No. So it allows you to basically fast travel to a specific location. So you could be out in the wilderness. You could put this down somewhere. You could run back to town. You could instantly teleport back to it. But you need fairy stones. I believe you can purchase them from this guy over here, but he doesn't even have that many. He might only have one.
Need anything?
He's got one fairy stone for 10,000. So they're pretty pricey. They're pretty rare. I think I maybe had 2 fairy stones in like 10 hours of playing. So yeah, you can buy transport, but you can't use it. you can't use it unless you got a fairy stone. So it's like, I don't see the point. Right, that's with the port crystal. Right, the last sort of controversial one, the wake stones. Now, these are very important items. If you die, you can use it. If you've got a wake stone on you, you use it to revive yourself. And that means you don't have to reload your last save, which sometimes could be in a really bad spot anyway, because there's only one, like, well, there's technically like 2 save slots. There's one that's manual and the automatic save slot. So basically you can manually save it, but when it automatically saves, apparently it overrides that slot, right? So you could have a bad, like, automatic save and be in a really bad position, die, and when you reload it, you're in that really bad position again. So you might need to use a wake stone to revive you in a different spot so you can just try to get through an encounter, which is possible. You also use it, though, to revive NPCs. You can kill NPCs in town and they're just dead, and you need a wake stone to get them back up. So they really have, to an extent, monetized the consequences of their game. Like, they really wanted to make sure that death was had consequences for it, and people weren't just like going around and killing NPCs. But you need a wake stone to bring it back. Now, are they easy to come by? They actually are pretty easy to obtain. I'll show you how. Right, here's a really easy way to get wake stones. So pawns can have pawn quests. So when someone sends their pawn out into the world, they can have quests. And I think the very first quest is basically travel together for a day and night. It just means the pawn's got to be with you for 1 day night cycle, and you get a wake stone shard. You get 3 shards and you get a wake stone. And the thing is, you can just farm this. You just go find new pawns, and you can literally go to a campsite. You can rest till morning. You set the campsite up again. You rest again, and the mission completes, and you get wake stones. So I think I've got like maybe 6 wake stones over the time of playing it, and I hardly ever use them because I don't want to use them. So once again, this just falls into the category of like just leaving a sour taste in your mouth. It is definitely not needed to play the game. I think that's my main point. So I definitely don't think it's pay to win. In fact, there are some things in here that are just straight up scammy and scummy and are just like overpriced. I think the worst offenders is probably the RC crystals, because you could get pawns that are like double your level. But I think the biggest like quality of life that's been monetized is making a new character, changing their appearance. It just doesn't need to be that in this game. Right, let's briefly talk about why there are other negative reviews. Performance on PC apparently is not very good. I have not played it on PC. I've played it on PS5. I haven't had any issues on PS5. Yes, it's a bit disappointing. It only reaches about 30 frames per second. Personally, I thought I was going to have a lot more issues with the 30 frames per second. And then I kind of realized that I mainly have issues with 30 frames when I'm playing first-person shooters, and I didn't really notice it as much. Of course, I saw some frame drops when stuff got crazy on screen, but the gameplay was enough for me that it didn't really bother me. The flip side of that is the PC version people seem to having troubles with not only frame rates, getting 40 frames per second, nowhere close to 60, which is, I guess, what you should be aiming for on PC, but also like just stability issues in general. It's hard to comment on that because everyone's always ragey about this kind of stuff, and without like going and testing it myself. So I think the best thing to do is, if you're looking to get it on Steam, to go check in with some streamers or people playing it and see what it looks like on Steam. From what I heard is people aren't having a good time. Okay, the save file stuff I have spoken about. You only get one save. It is an issue on Steam because of Steam Cloud, and it backs up your files. And so you can't just reset and start over again. The thing is, there are not many reasons to need a new save apart from appearance. That's like the main reason that you would want to start a new game. Everything else, like, you just kind of do in the game. Like vocations, which are your skills, you just purchase them and you just switch over, and your skill growth is actually transferred to the new thing. So it's not like you lose progress by switching vocations. You can easily switch between vocations. The main thing, the one save file that is annoying, is appearance, and also if you get stuck in a really bad spot. If you get stuck in a spot where the autosave has put you on top of a hill or something, or and you just can't get out of an area, and you haven't rested at an inn, you can be a bit stuffed. When you rest at an inn, it saves, and if you haven't rested at an inn for a while, which is common, like I don't really rest at inns because it costs you money, and then you get a bad autosave, then you're kind of screwed. You can lose a couple hours of gameplay. Like I to be honest, I was risking it. I think I only rested at inns maybe twice in 10 hours. I was using campsites. So if I got a really bad autosave, I would have lost a lot of time. Right, the last thing is the anti-cheat. Look, I think you need to watch someone who's more clued into this anti-cheat stuff, but it is de novo. It's a kernel level access anti-cheat, which people have issue with because has the highest level of privilege on your PC. And if something goes wrong with that, it can fuck up your PC. Apparently, it also impacts game performance, and I believe you can't reinstall on multiple devices with this software. So listen, it's not my area of expertise. Go watch someone else about it and make a decision whether, if you're going to get it on PC, whether you want that on your computer. I think right now, PC's performance plus the anti-cheat plus the one save file can definitely put people off the game. I've had a fantastic experience on PS5. Still going to play it a lot. Didn't even notice the microtransactions. Overall, I think they're unnecessary and scummy, but not pay to win. There you go. Make an informed decision. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you'd like to support the channel, you can leave a comment. You can leave the words microtransactions. As usual, it's been a pleasure. This is Myelin Games. Peace.